Are you wasting your time right now? Have you ever stopped to think about how many hours you lose every single week doing things that do not help you, do not build your future, and do not make your life better? Imagine this. 1 year from now, you look back and realize you spent hundreds of hours scrolling, watching, or waiting hours that could have changed your English, your career, your relationships, even your dreams. That is why, today, we ask the question, are you wasting your time? And if you are, what can you do about it? Welcome to Native Flow English, the channel where you not only practice listening to real English, but also learn powerful life lessons that can guide you every day. My name is Anna, and I am so happy you are here. Before we start, please do 3 things. First, hit the like button because it helps more people find this lesson. Second, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so you never miss a lesson. And third, leave a comment below. I want you to answer this question. What is the number 1 thing you waste your time on? Be honest, because the first step to change is knowing the truth. I will be reading your comments, and I cannot wait to see your answers. Now, let us dive in. We will listen to 3 stories today, 3 people with 3 different lives. Their names are Emma, Daniel, and Luis. Each one shows us a different way of thinking, a different way of using or wasting time. And by listening to their stories, you will not only practice your English, but also reflect on your own life. Are you more like Emma, Daniel, or Luis? Let us start with Emma. Emma is 22 years old. She is bright, funny, and full of energy. But Emma has a problem. Every night she tells herself she will go to bed at 11. But what happens? She opens her phone, she checks social media, she watches videos, she scrolls and scrolls, and suddenly it is 2 o'clock in the morning. The next day she is tired. She cannot focus in class. She drinks too much coffee, and she feels lazy. When she comes home, she says, I am too tired to study. I will do it tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. Week after week, Emma is losing hours of her life. She thinks it is nothing, just one more video, just one more scroll, but in truth, Emma is wasting her time. Does Emma sound familiar to you? Maybe you are like her. Maybe you say, I will study English later. I will practice tomorrow. But then your phone calls you, your games call you, and suddenly hours are gone. I want you to think, if you continue like Emma, what will your life look like 5 years from now? Will you still be stuck? Will you still be saying, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow? Comment below and tell me, do you see yourself in Emma's story? Yes or no? Now, let us move to Daniel. Daniel is 30 years old. He has a job, but he does not love it. He always says he wants to change. He wants to learn English. He wants to travel. He wants to do something new. But Daniel is a master of procrastination. He tells himself he will start next week. He buys books but never opens them. He downloads apps but never uses them. He talks about big dreams but takes small action or no action at all. One day he says, I will watch an English video, but first I need to clean the house. Another day he says, I will practice speaking, but first I must call a friend. Every day there is an excuse. Every day he loses another chance. And slowly, without even noticing, years are passing by. Daniel is wasting his time not by doing nothing, but by always delaying the important things. Let me ask you, are you like Daniel? Do you have big dreams, but keep pushing them into the future? Be honest with yourself. If you keep waiting, will the right time ever come? Or will your life stay the same forever? Write in the comments. Are you more like Daniel or not? And finally, we meet Luis. Luis is 25. He works hard. maybe too hard. But his problem is not laziness and not procrastination. His problem is distraction. Louis says yes to everything. Friends ask for help. He says yes. His boss asks for extra hours. He says yes. He tries to do too many things at once. He studies English while texting, while listening to music, while checking his email. At the end of the day, he is busy, but he is not productive. He has spent the whole day running, but when he looks back, nothing is finished. Luis is wasting his time not because he does nothing, but because he does not focus on what truly matters. Maybe you are like Luis. Maybe your life feels full, but inside you feel empty. You are always busy, but you are not moving forward. If this sounds like you, I want you to comment right now. Do you feel busy or do you feel productive? Think about the difference, because it is very important. So, what do these three people teach us? Emma shows us the danger of distraction and late nights on the phone. Daniel shows us the danger of procrastination and waiting for the perfect time. Louise shows us the danger of being too busy and losing focus. And maybe, just maybe, you see yourself in one of them. But do not worry. This lesson is not only about problems, it is about solutions. In the next part, we will look at what happens if Emma, Daniel, and Luis keep wasting time. We will see the results 5 years from now. And we will also talk about how they, and you, can change. But before we continue, let me ask you one more question. If you could go back in time, 5 years ago, what would you change about how you use your time? Would you study more? Would you spend less time on your phone? Would you start your English journey earlier? Think carefully and write your answer in the comments. I will read them, and maybe your story can help another viewer too. Remember, this is Native Flow English. We are not only learning English, we are learning life. Stay with me, because the next part of our story is about the future you. You do not want to miss it. Now let us move forward in time. Let us imagine what happens if nothing changes. If Emma, Daniel, and Luis continue to waste their time in the same way. Sometimes it is painful to look into the future, but it is also powerful because it shows us why we must change today. First, let us look at Emma again. Remember, Emma is 22, full of life, but always on her phone at night. She tells herself, just one more video, just one more hour online. Now imagine her at 27. 5 years have passed. She has graduated. She has tried different jobs, but something is missing. Her energy is low. Her focus is weak, and her habits are the same. She still goes to bed too late. She still wakes up tired, and she still says, I will study tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. At 27, Emma looks back and asks, what did I do with all that time? She wanted to be fluent in English. She wanted to travel, to work abroad, to meet new people, but because she wasted her nights, she wasted her dreams. She sees friends moving forward, starting careers, building new lives, speaking English with confidence. But Emma is stuck. She feels regret. She says, if only I had used my time better when I was younger. Does that sound scary to you? Can you imagine being 5 years older and realizing you wasted thousands of hours on small distractions? I want you to think about this question right now. If you continue with your habits, what will your life look like in 5 years? Better, the same, or worse? Write your answer in the comments, because this reflection is important. Now let us visit Daniel. At 30 years old, he was already waiting. He was already delaying his dreams. So what happens when he reaches 35? 5 years later, his situation is almost the same. He still has the same job, because he never took the steps to change. He still says, "One day I will study English. One day I will take a course. One day I will start." But the days keep passing. The weeks keep passing. The years keep passing. And Daniel is no closer to his dream. At 35, Daniel feels something heavy inside. It is regret, but it is also fear. He thinks, maybe it is too late now. Maybe I cannot change anymore. Maybe I missed my chance. He sees younger people, fresh and motivated, learning new skills, traveling, building exciting lives, and he feels older, slower, and left behind, all because he wasted his time waiting for the perfect moment, a moment that never came. Can you see yourself in Daniel? Do you also wait for the right time to start? If so, I want to challenge you. What if the right time is now? What if today is the only day that matters? If you agree, write in the comments. I will not wait anymore. Make this your public promise so that you and others can hold on to it. Now let us look at Luis. Luis was always busy, always saying yes, always moving but never arriving. At 25, he thought he was productive. At 30, he realizes he was only running in circles. He gave his time to everyone but himself. He tried to please his boss, his friends, his family, but he never gave enough time to his own growth. 5 years later, he feels exhausted, but his English has not improved. His personal dreams are still on hold. He looks around and realizes, I worked so hard. But what did I actually build? At 30, Luis faces another danger, burnout. Burnout is when you feel empty, tired, and hopeless because you have been working too much without true purpose. Luis wanted to do everything, but by doing everything, he did nothing that truly mattered. He wasted his time not in laziness, but in lack of focus. Maybe you are like Luis. Maybe you are always busy, but when you reflect, you do not see real progress. If that is you, I want you to stop and ask, am I busy or am I productive? What is the difference for you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Someone else may need to hear your answer. So now, we see 3 possible futures. Emma lives with regret because of wasted nights. Daniel lives with fear because of wasted years. Luis lives with burnout because of wasted energy. And the truth is, many young people today are like them. Social media, procrastination, distractions, endless busyness. These are the modern traps of time, and if we are not careful, we fall into them too. But here is the good news. The future is not fixed. It is only a story. Emma's story, Daniel's story, Luis's story. They can change. And so can yours. You do not need to wait 5 years to wake up. You can wake up today. You can look at your life, see where your time is going, and make a new choice. Imagine if Emma decides tonight to put her phone away at 11, to read, to sleep, to wake up fresh, and to use that extra time to study. Imagine if Daniel decides today to stop waiting, to take the first small step toward his dream. Even if it is only 15 minutes of English listening. Imagine if Luis decides this week to say no to distractions, to cut the noise, and to focus on one important goal. Their futures change instantly because they are no longer wasting time. And you too can do the same. You can change one small habit today and protect 5 years of your future. So let me ask you, if you had the chance to go back in time 5 years, what would you do differently? Think about it carefully and then write your answer in the comments, because once you see what you would change in the past, you also see what you must change in the present. In the next part of our lesson, we will not only imagine the future but also talk about real solutions. We will explore how Emma, Daniel, And Luis can take action today, and how you can too. We will learn practical steps that are simple, clear, and possible for everyone. Stay with me, because this is where the real change begins. We have seen the problems, we have seen the future of Emma, Daniel, and Luis if they do not change. But the good news is this: change is always possible. No matter how much time you have wasted in the past, you can still choose differently today. The question is not, did you waste time? The question is, will you keep wasting time, or will you begin to use it wisely? Let us go back to Emma. Remember, Emma loses her nights on her phone. She goes to bed too late. She wakes up tired. And she says, I will study tomorrow. So how can Emma change? The first solution is simple but powerful. Discipline with her phone. Emma can decide that every night at 11, she will put her phone in another room. She can charge it outside her bedroom. That way, when she feels the temptation to scroll, the phone is not there. The second step for Emma is a bedtime routine. Instead of wasting time on her screen, she can read a simple English story, listen to a short English podcast, or write a few lines in her journal. By replacing distraction with practice, Emma not only saves time but also improves her English. In 5 years, instead of regret, she will have growth. Now let me ask you, what is the number one thing that steals your time at night? Is it social media, games, or something else? Write your answer in the comments and tell me one idea you have to control it. Your idea may inspire another person to take action too. Next, we return to Daniel. Daniel's problem is not distraction, but procrastination. He always waits for the perfect time, and the perfect time never comes. So what can he do? The first solution is to start small. Daniel must stop saying, I will study for 2 hours tomorrow, because tomorrow never arrives. Instead, he can say, I will study for 10 minutes today. Only 10 minutes. It sounds small, but the magic is this: small steps grow into big results. The second step for Daniel is accountability. He can find a friend, a teacher, or even a comment section online, and he can say, I will practice for 10 minutes today. Then he must return and say, I did it. When someone else knows his plan, he feels more responsible. He cannot hide. That accountability pushes him to act. Imagine Daniel after 5 years of small steps. If he studies only 15 minutes a day, that is more than 90 hours a year. Multiply that by 5 years, and he has almost 500 hours of practice. That is enough to change his English completely. The future can be very different if he starts small today. So I ask you, what is one small action you can take today? Not tomorrow. To stop wasting time, write it in the comments. And do not say, I will start later. Write it now, because action begins with commitment. Finally, let us look at Luis. Luis is not lazy, and he is not a procrastinator. He is simply too busy and unfocused. His solution is to learn the power of no. Luis must realize that every time he says yes to something unimportant, he says no to something important. He must choose carefully. Does this task bring me closer to my goals? If not, he must say no. The second solution for Luis is focus. He must stop multitasking. If he studies English, he studies English only. No texting, no music, no checking email, just English. Even if it is only 20 minutes, the focus will make it powerful. Focus turns busy time into productive time. Imagine Luis after 5 years of focused practice. Instead of burnout, he will have balance. Instead of feeling tired and empty, he will feel strong and full of progress. His English will be better. His mind will be clearer, and his dreams will be closer. So now I ask you, do you often say yes to too many things? Do you find yourself busy but not productive? If yes, write in the comments one thing you will say no to this week. This is your chance to claim back your time. Emma's solution is control of distraction. Daniel's solution is starting small and being accountable. Luisa's solution is focus and learning to say no. And maybe your solution is one of these, or maybe it is a mix. But here is the truth. No one will manage your time for you, not your parents, not your teacher, not your friends. Time is your responsibility. If you waste it, you lose it. If you use it well, you build your future. Think about this. 1 year has 365 days. Each day has 24 hours. That means each year has more than 700 hours. How many of those hours are you using to build the life you want? And how many are you giving away to distraction, procrastination, and busyness? The answer is in your habits. Let us do a little reflection exercise together. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself 5 years from now. Picture yourself speaking English clearly, confidently, with no fear. Picture yourself traveling, working, living the life you want. Now ask, how did you get there? The answer is simple. You used your time well. You practiced every day. You chose growth instead of waste. That future is waiting for you. If you decide today, so now, it is your turn. I want you to write in the comments, which solution do you need most? Do you need Emma's discipline, Daniel's small steps, or Luisha's focus? Write one word, Emma, Daniel, or Luis. Let us see which story connects to you the most. In the next part of this lesson, we will go deeper. We will talk about the bigger picture of time, not only how to stop wasting it, but how to use it for something meaningful. We will explore purpose, goals, and the power of choosing what truly matters. Because time is not just hours on a clock. Time is life itself. And the way you spend your time is the way you spend your life. Stay with me, because the next part may change the way you see everything. We have spoken about habits, about small changes, about solutions for Emma, Daniel, and Luis. But now, let us go deeper, because time is not only about habits or schedules. Time is life itself. Every moment you spend is a piece of your life you give away. Once it is gone, it never returns. You cannot buy it back. You cannot borrow it. You cannot save it in a box. You can only use it or lose it. Think about this. When you waste an hour, you are not just wasting time, you are wasting a part of your life. And when you use an hour wisely, you are building a future, step by step, moment by moment. That is why people say, time is more valuable than money. You can always earn more money, but you cannot earn more time. Now, let us reflect on Emma again. What Emma truly lost was not just sleep. She lost her energy, her focus, her dreams. Why? Because she gave her life to endless scrolling. For her, the phone became more important than her future. But imagine if Emma asked herself one powerful question every night before picking up her phone. Is this really how I want to spend my life? One simple question can change everything. I want you to try this too. Tonight, when you are about to waste time, stop and ask, is this really how I want to spend my life? If the answer is no, then close the app, put away the distraction, and choose something better. Maybe it is studying English. Maybe it is talking with family. Maybe it is resting your body. But make sure it is something that builds you, not something that empties you. Now, think about Daniel. His problem is waiting. He waits for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment does not exist. The deeper issue is this: Daniel does not realize that life itself is short. He thinks he has unlimited time, but he does not. 5 years can pass in a blink. 10 years can disappear like smoke. And when you wake up, you realize you wasted it. That is why purpose is so important. Purpose gives you a reason to use your time well. Without purpose, you float like a boat without direction. You go wherever the wind takes you. But with purpose, you know where you are going. Every action has meaning. Every day is a step forward. So let me ask you, do you know your purpose? Do you know why you want to learn English? Do you want to travel? To study abroad? To get a better job? To connect with people around the world? Write your purpose in the comments. Because when you share it, you make it real, and you also inspire others to find theirs. And what about Luis? Luis's story teaches us another truth. Time is not only about working hard, it is about working smart. You can be busy all day and still waste time if you are not focused. Luis said yes to everything, and in the end, he lost himself. His purpose was lost under the weight of other people's needs. But when Luis learns to say no, he is not being selfish. He is being wise, because when you protect your time, you protect your life. I want you to think about this. If you had only 1 year left to live, would you spend it the same way you are spending it now? Would you spend it scrolling on your phone, procrastinating, saying yes to things that do not matter? Or would you spend it learning, growing, and living fully? This question is not to scare you, but to wake you up. Life is short. Time is precious. The way you live today will decide the story you tell tomorrow. Let us go even deeper. Time is connected to choices. Every choice is a door. When you choose one thing, you close another. If you choose to waste time, you close the door to progress. If you choose to use your time well, you close the door to regret. The challenge is this. Most people do not think before they choose. They act automatically. Emma chooses her phone without thinking. Daniel chooses delay without thinking. Luis chooses busyness without thinking. But when you stop, reflect, and ask yourself, what choice am I making right now? That is when you take control of your time. So here is a small practice for you. For the next 7 days, every time you start an activity, pause for 2 seconds and ask yourself, does this activity bring me closer to my goal or farther away? If it brings you closer, do it with all your energy. If it takes you farther, stop and change. This simple practice can transform the way you use your time. Let me share a short story. There was once a man who asked an old wise teacher, "What is the secret to success?" The teacher answered with one word, time. The man was confused. He asked again, "What do you mean?" The teacher said, "Success is not about luck. It is about how you use your time. If you use it well, you will succeed. If you waste it, you will fail. Time is the soil where your life grows. Plant wisely." This story is simple, but it is true. Time is the soil, and your actions are the seeds. If you plant good seeds every day, study, practice, effort, you will harvest success. If you plant nothing, you will harvest nothing. So, I want to ask you now, what seeds are you planting today? Are you planting seeds of growth or seeds of waste? Write in the comments one seed you will plant this week. Maybe it is 15 minutes of English practice every day. Maybe it is reading 1 page of a book instead of scrolling. Maybe it is saying no to one distraction. Write it down, because writing makes it real. We have now explored the meaning of time, the value of purpose, and the power of choices, but we are not finished. In the next part, we will bring everything together. We will talk about how to build a daily routine that protects your time, grows your skills, and keeps you moving forward. We will also see how Emma, Daniel, and Luis begin to change when they apply these lessons. Their lives will not be perfect, but they will be better. And your life can be better too. Stay with me, because the next part is all about practical action for your daily life. We have looked at the value of time and the meaning behind it. Now, let us bring everything closer to daily life, because real change does not happen in big dreams. It happens in small routines, repeated every day. The secret is this: your habits shape your future. Show me your daily routine, and I will show you your future life. Let us begin again with Emma. Emma was always distracted by her phone at night, but after she asked herself the question, is this really how I want to spend my life? She decided to change. Her first step was simple. At 11 o'clock, she put her phone in another room. At first it was difficult. She felt restless. She wanted to grab it. But after a week, it became easier. She began to sleep earlier. She woke up fresher. Then Emma added something new. Every night, before sleeping, she read one short English story. At the beginning, it was only 5 minutes, but slowly, she started reading 10, 15, 20 minutes. After a few months, Emma had finished 3 books. Her English reading became faster. Her vocabulary grew. And the best part, she no longer woke up with regret. She woke up with progress. Now I ask you, what is one habit you can change in your night routine to protect your time? Write it in the comments. Remember, your answer may inspire someone else. Next, Daniel. Daniel's problem was waiting. He always delayed his dreams, but now he decides to stop waiting. His first change is tiny. He tells himself, I will study English for only 10 minutes today. Just 10 minutes. No excuses. He sets a timer. He opens a listening exercise. And he does it at the end. He feels good. He says, I did it. The next day, he does the same. 10 minutes again. After a week, he has studied for 70 minutes. That is more than he did in the past month. After a month, he feels confident, so he increases his practice to 15 minutes. Slowly, his habit grows. What changed for Daniel? Not his time, but his mindset. He stopped waiting for the perfect moment and started acting in the present. Daniel also adds accountability. He messages a friend and says, I will practice English every day for 10 minutes. Please ask me if I did it. And because someone else knows, he feels more responsible. He does not want to fail. This accountability keeps him strong when he feels lazy. So let me ask you, who could be your accountability partner? A friend, a family member, or maybe even this community here in the comments. Write in the comments one person you could share your goal with. Now we turn to Luis. Luis's problem was not laziness, not procrastination, but too much busyness. So what did he change? He began to say no. At first, it was hard. When his boss asked him to stay late, he politely said, not today. When his friends asked him to go out every night, he said, maybe later, but not this week. Luis also created focus time. For 30 minutes every morning, he studied English with no distractions. He turned off his phone, closed his email, and concentrated only on learning. He used simple exercises, listening, repeating, writing sentences. He did not try to do everything, only one thing at a time. And because he focused, his 30 minutes became powerful. After a few months, Luis saw results. His English improved. His energy returned. He no longer felt burned out because he was not wasting time on too many things. He chose what mattered most, and he committed to it. Now I want to ask you, Do you need more focus in your life? If yes, what is one thing you can say no to this week? Write it in the comments. Saying no may be the key to saying yes to your future. So, what do we learn from these three? Emma learned to control distraction and build a bedtime routine. Daniel learned to stop waiting and start small. With accountability, Luis learned to focus, to say no, and to give his energy to what truly matters. Each of them began with one simple step, and that is the secret. You do not need to change everything in one day. You only need to take one small action again and again until it becomes a habit. Think about your own life. What small habit could change your future? Maybe it is reading one page of an English book every night. Maybe it is listening to one podcast every morning. Maybe it is writing 3 sentences in English every day. Simple habits, repeated daily, build strong results. Let us do a small exercise together. Close your eyes and imagine your perfect day. 5 years from now, you wake up early, full of energy. You speak English with confidence. You work at a job you love, or maybe you are traveling, meeting new people, living the life you always wanted. Now, ask yourself, what daily habit did I practice to arrive here? That habit is your key. Start it today. Remember, time is like a river. Every day, the water flows. Whether you use it or not, you cannot stop the river, but you can decide how to use it. You can build a boat and travel far, or you can stand still and watch the water pass. The choice is yours. So here is my final question for this part. If you had to choose only one new habit this week to stop wasting time, what would it be? Write it in the comments. One habit, one step, one change that is where transformation begins. In the next part, we will go even deeper. We will explore how to use your time not only for daily habits, but also for building a meaningful life. Because habits are important, but purpose is bigger. We will see how Emma, Daniel, and Luis discover new meaning in their journey, and how you can too. Stay with me, because the best part is still coming. Habits are powerful. They shape our daily life, but habits without purpose are like walking in circles. You move, but you do not arrive anywhere. That is why the next step is so important. Connecting your time to your purpose, because time without purpose is wasted, but time with purpose becomes meaningful. Let us look again at Emma. She has changed her routine. She sleeps earlier. She studies more. But after a few months, she asks herself, why am I doing this? What is the bigger reason? She realizes that her true dream is not just to improve English for fun. Her dream is to travel abroad, to meet people, to experience the world. She wants to study in another country, maybe Canada or Australia. Suddenly, her practice has more meaning. Every hour she studies is not just about grammar or vocabulary. It is about building the bridge to her dream life. This is the power of purpose. It transforms boring practice into exciting preparation. Imagine if you are just memorizing words, it feels heavy, maybe boring. But if you are memorizing words to use in Paris, London, or New York, suddenly it feels alive. Purpose gives energy. So let me ask you, what is your bigger reason for learning English? Is it travel, work, education, friendship? Write your answer in the comments. When you know your purpose, your practice becomes easier. Now we return to Daniel. For years, he procrastinated. He delayed his dreams. But after starting small, he begins to feel change. One day, he asked himself, why am I practicing every day? What is the bigger reason? And then he remembers. His purpose is to change his career. He wants to leave his boring job and work in an international company. He wants freedom to choose, freedom to grow. That is why English matters. When Daniel connects his time to his purpose, everything becomes stronger. He no longer says, I will study tomorrow. He says, I must study today because my future depends on it. Purpose turns obligation into motivation, and motivation is the fire that keeps him going, even on difficult days. So now I ask you, do you connect your daily habits to your bigger dream, or do you just study without direction? Be honest, because this question can change everything. Write your answer in the comments. And what about Luis? Luis was always busy, always running, but not always moving forward. After learning to say no, he finally has more space in his life. And with that space, he asks, what truly matters to me? He realizes that his purpose is balance. He wants to grow in his career, yes, but he also wants time for family, for health, for learning. His purpose is not to be the busiest person in the room. His purpose is to live fully, to grow in many areas without losing himself. So Luis starts making choices based on his values. He says yes to what gives him energy and no to what steals it. He studies English not just to check a box, but to connect with people, to open new opportunities, to build a life he is proud of. His purpose is not only success, but meaning. Think about your own life. What is truly important to you? Is it freedom, family, education, travel, connection? When you know what matters most, you can use your time as a tool to build it. But if you do not know, you will waste time on things that do not matter. There is a famous saying, if you do not know where you are going, any road will take you there, but that road may lead nowhere. That is why clarity is so powerful. When you are clear about your purpose, you do not waste time, because every choice becomes a step in the right direction. Here is a small practice for you. Take a notebook and write down your top 3 purposes in life right now. Maybe it is learning English. Maybe it is building a better job. Maybe it is taking care of your family. Write them clearly. Then ask yourself, do my daily actions match my purposes? If the answer is no, then you know where you are wasting time. Emma's purpose is travel and study abroad. Daniel's purpose is a new career. Luis's purpose is balance and meaning. And what about you? Write your purpose in the comments, because sharing makes it stronger. Let us imagine again 5 years from now. Emma is living in Canada, studying in English, making new friends from all over the world. Daniel is working in an international company, proud of himself for finally taking action. Luis is living a balanced life, successful at work but also happy with family, health, and learning. What is the difference between their old future and their new one? The difference is not luck. It is not talent. It is purpose plus action. And you, too, can change your story. You may not control everything in life, but you control how you use your time. And if you use it for your purpose, your future can be very different. Now let me ask you something personal. If you had to choose one sentence to describe your purpose right now, what would it be? For example, my purpose is to speak English so I can travel freely. Or, my purpose is to learn English to change my job. Or, my purpose is to connect with people around the world. Write your one-sentence purpose in the comments. This will help you focus every day. Remember this truth. Purpose without action is only a dream. Action without purpose is only movement. But purpose plus action is transformation. Emma, Daniel, and Luis learned this lesson. And now, it is your turn. In the next part, we will move from purpose to practice. We will explore how to design your week so that your time matches your purpose. We will create a simple system that anyone can use, even if you are busy. And we will see how our 3 characters continue their journey, building not only habits and purpose, but also consistency. Stay with me, because the next part is where you turn your purpose into a plan. You now understand the power of habits. You also understand the importance of purpose. But here is the next question. How do we connect them? How do we make sure our time is used daily, weekly, and monthly to move toward our bigger goals? The answer is planning. Without a plan, even the strongest purpose can fade away. With a plan, even small steps become powerful. Let us begin with Emma again. Emma knows her purpose. She wants to study abroad. She also has a new habit of reading English every night. But she needs more structure, so she sits down on Sunday evening with a notebook. She writes at the top, "My English study plan for this week." Then she makes a schedule. On Monday, she writes, "Practice listening for 15 minutes. On Tuesday, write 5 sentences in English. On Wednesday, read 10 minutes. On Thursday, practice speaking out loud with YouTube. On Friday, review vocabulary. On Saturday, take a short test online. On Sunday, rest and reflect." Emma does not make the plan too heavy. She keeps it light but consistent. And because she writes it down, she can see her progress. Each time she finishes a task, she checks it off. This check mark gives her motivation. Slowly, week by week, she sees her progress grow. Her English improves because she has a plan, not just a wish. Now, let us look at Daniel. His purpose is to change his career. He knows he must improve his English skills to work in an international company. But he also works full-time, so his time is limited. How does he plan? Daniel uses something simple, the 15-minute rule. Every day, no matter what, he gives 15 minutes to English. Sometimes it is listening while he cooks dinner. Sometimes it is reading during lunch break. Sometimes it is speaking practice while driving. Daniel also plans his week in advance. He writes down, Monday listening podcast, Tuesday reading article, Wednesday writing short email, Thursday speaking practice, Friday review, Saturday longer study, 30 minutes, Sunday rest. This plan makes sure he touches every skill. Listening, reading, writing, speaking, slowly. All his skills improve together. But Daniel also does something very smart. He creates a reward system. Every time he completes a full week of practice, he gives himself a small reward. Maybe a favorite meal. Maybe watching his favorite show guilt-free. This reward system keeps him motivated. Because let's be honest, learning is not always easy. But when you connect effort to reward, it becomes more enjoyable. So I ask you, what small reward could you give yourself for finishing a week of practice? Write it in the comments. Rewards are not selfish. They are tools to keep you moving forward. Now let's talk about Luis. Remember, his challenge was busyness. He had too many tasks, too much stress. His purpose is balance. So his plan must reflect that. He decides to create focus blocks every morning before work. Luis gives 30 minutes only to English. No phone, no email, no distractions, just him and his study. Then he starts his workday with a clear mind. Luis also plans his evenings. Twice a week. He studies for longer 45 minutes, but on other evenings, he rests, spends time with family, or exercises. His plan is balanced. He does not try to do everything. He chooses what matters. The result? Luis does not burn out. He does not feel overwhelmed. His weekly plan respects his need for focus and his need for rest. Because true productivity is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters. Consistently. Now, let us pause and reflect. Which style fits you more? Are you like Emma, who needs a clear, written schedule? Are you like Daniel, who uses the 15-minute rule and small rewards? Or are you like Luis, who uses focus blocks and balance? Write in the comments which plan feels closest to your life. Here is a truth I want you to remember. Consistency beats intensity. Many people start with huge energy. They study English for 3 hours one day, but then they stop for 1 week. That is not progress. True progress comes from daily, consistent action. 10 minutes every day is better than 2 hours once a month. Small steps, repeated, build strong results. Another truth is this: planning creates freedom. Many people think planning is boring, that it removes freedom, but the opposite is true. Without a plan, you waste time deciding what to do. With a plan, your mind is free. You simply follow the steps, and progress comes naturally. Let us imagine the difference. Imagine 2 students. One has no plan. He wakes up and says, "Maybe I will study today." He opens his book, reads a little, then checks his phone, then forgets. At the end of the week, he studied only once. The other student has a plan. She wakes up, looks at her notebook, and says, "Today is listening practice." She does it. No thinking, no wasting time. At the end of the week, she studied 6 times. After 1 month, who will improve more? Of course, the student with a plan. So, I want to give you a simple challenge. Take 5 minutes today. Write down your weekly plan for English. Keep it simple. Monday listening, Tuesday reading, Wednesday writing, Thursday speaking, Friday review, Saturday longer study, Sunday rest. That is all. One small plan can change everything. And remember, share your plan in the comments. Why? Because when you write it publicly, you feel more responsible. And maybe your plan will inspire someone else to create theirs. Emma, Danielle, and Luis are not special. They are just like you. They are people who were wasting time. But then they learned to change. They discovered habits, purpose, and now planning. With these 3 tools, their future is already different. And your future can be different too. In the next part, we will go even deeper. We will talk about the hidden dangers that steal your time. Even when you have habits and plans, we will learn how to protect your focus in a world full of distractions and how to make sure your purpose stays alive. Stay with me, because this next part is one of the most important. You now have habits. You have purpose. You have a weekly plan. But even with these tools, there is still a big danger. Distraction. Because the world today is full of noise. Your phone rings. Your social media scrolls. Your friends send messages. The internet never sleeps. If you are not careful, distraction will steal your time quietly. Like a thief in the night. Think about it. How many times have you opened your phone to check one message? But 30 minutes later, you are still scrolling. How many times have you sat down to study, but suddenly remembered something else, like checking the news or watching a video? These small distractions do not feel big in the moment, but when you add them together, they can steal hours, days, even years of your life. Now let us look at Emma again. Emma had built a good study routine, but one evening she made a mistake. She kept her phone next to her while studying. At first, she told herself, "I will not touch it." But then a notification appeared. She looked at it. Then she clicked it. Suddenly, 30 minutes were gone. Her plan for the night was broken. She felt frustrated. So Emma made a new rule for herself. When I study, my phone sleeps in another room. She calls it her focus rule. It was hard at first, but then it became natural. Now, when she studies, she gives her full attention, and the result, she learns faster, she remembers more, and she feels proud at the end of each session. What about you? Do you also need a focus rule? Maybe it is putting your phone in another room. Maybe it is turning off notifications. Maybe it is using a timer. Write in the comments one rule you could use to protect your focus. Now, let us move to Daniel. His weakness was always procrastination. Even after building habits, sometimes distraction pulled him back. He would start his 15-minute study, but then he would think, I will just watch one video first. One video became 3, and suddenly his time was gone. To fight this, Daniel learned a technique called time boxing. He took a small timer, set it for 15 minutes, and told himself, during this time, I will do nothing except English. No phone, no internet, no excuses, only English. When the timer finished, he could rest or relax. This simple box of time protected him. It gave him a clear start and a clear finish, and because it was only 15 minutes, he did not feel scared or overwhelmed. Daniel also created a study corner in his room, a small desk, a notebook, a pen, nothing else. Every time he sat there, his brain knew this is focus time. Environment matters. If you study in bed, your brain thinks about sleep. If you study near the TV, your brain thinks about entertainment. But if you create a special place only for study, your brain learns to focus faster. So here is my question for you. Do you have a special study place? If yes, describe it in the comments. If no, could you create one? It does not need to be big. A small desk, a quiet corner, or even a chair in the library. The important thing is consistency. Now let us look at Luis. Luis already knew about busyness and learned to say no, but distractions were still around him. At work, people sent him endless emails. At home, family members asked for help while he was studying. So what did he do? Luis created boundaries. He explained to his family, for 30 minutes in the morning, I need quiet time to study. He explained to his colleagues, I will answer emails after 10 a.m., not before. At first, people were surprised, but soon they respected his boundaries. Luis also practiced single tasking. In the past, he tried to do many things at the same time, listening to English while checking emails, or reading while messaging friends. But he realized his progress was slow. Now, he does one thing at a time. If he listens, he only listens. If he reads, he only reads. His focus became stronger. His learning became deeper. So let me ask you, are you a single tasker or a multitasker? Which one do you think helps you learn faster? Share your answer in the comments. Let us step back for a moment. Distraction is not just about losing minutes. It is about losing your future. Every minute you waste scrolling without purpose is a minute you could have used to build your dream. Imagine Emma if she never changed her focus. She would still be stuck in late-night scrolling. Imagine Daniel if he never used time boxing. He would still be waiting for the perfect moment. Imagine Luis if he never created boundaries. He would still be exhausted, busy, but not moving forward. And what about you? If you continue with your current distractions, where will you be 5 years from now? That is a hard question, but it is important. Write your answer in the comments. Sometimes, looking at the future clearly is the wake-up call we need. But here is the good news. You can protect your focus. You do not need to fight distraction perfectly. You only need to make small rules that guard your time. Emma's rule was phone in another room. Daniel's rule was time boxing with a timer. Luis's rule was boundaries and single tasking. Simple, clear, effective. Let us do one more exercise together. Take a piece of paper and write down your focus rule. It can be one sentence. For example, when I study, I will put my phone away. Or, I will study in the library for 30 minutes. Or, I will use a timer to block distractions. Keep this paper visible. Look at it every day. This is your shield against distraction. Remember this truth. Habits build momentum. Purpose gives direction. Planning creates structure. And focus protects your progress. If you can master focus, you can win against distraction. And when you win against distraction, you win back your time. In the next part, we will bring everything together. We will see how Emma, Daniel, and Luis use all these lessons to design not only a productive life, but also a meaningful one. We will talk about regrets, choices, and the power of looking back from the future. Because the question remains, if you could go back in time, what would you change? And how can you avoid that regret today? Stay with me, because the conclusion will give you clarity and motivation like never before. Imagine yourself 50 years from now. Your hair is grey, your hands are older. You sit in a quiet place, maybe a park, maybe your home. You close your eyes and remember your life. You ask yourself, did I use my time well? Did I live the life I wanted? Or did I waste too much of it on things that did not matter? This picture may feel far away, but it is closer than we think. Life passes quickly. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. That is why reflection is so powerful. Because when you imagine yourself in the future, you see more clearly what matters today. Let us visit Emma again. One evening, after studying, she sat quietly and imagined herself at age 65. In this vision, she saw two possible futures. In the first, she had never travelled, never studied abroad, never dared to follow her dream. She stayed in her hometown, scrolling her phone every night, wishing for more but never acting. In the second, she had studied hard, applied to universities, and built a new life in another country. She had stories, memories, friends from all over the world. Which future made her feel alive? The second one, of course. That reflection gave her power. She told herself, I do not want to look back with regret. I want to look back with pride. From that day, her study sessions felt different. She was no longer just practicing English. She was protecting her future self from regret. So let me ask you, what will your future self thank you for? Think about it. Will your future self thank you for scrolling on social media? Or will your future self thank you for learning English, for building skills, for chasing your dreams? Write in the comments what you want your future self to say to you. Now we turn to Daniel. For him, regret was a heavy feeling. He had already wasted years waiting for the perfect time. He thought about his younger self, the Daniel at 20 years old, full of dreams but afraid to start. Now, in his 30s, he told himself, I do not want to repeat the same mistake. So Daniel did a powerful exercise. He wrote a letter to his future self. In this letter, he imagined it was 10 years later. He wrote, Dear Daniel, thank you for not waiting anymore. Thank you for studying every day. Thank you for changing your job and giving yourself freedom. I am proud of you. Then he sealed the letter and put it in a drawer. Every time he felt lazy, he opened it and read it. That letter reminded him of who he wanted to become. Maybe you can try this too. Write a letter to your future self. Tell yourself what you want to achieve, what you hope for, what you dream of. Keep it safe. One day, when you open it again, you will see how far you have come. And now, Luis, for him, regret was different. He was not afraid of never starting. He was afraid of losing balance. He imagined himself at age 70, successful at work but with no family memories, no health, no peace. That thought made him sad, but then he imagined another future, one where he had balance, where he had time for family dinners, morning walks, laughter, and health. That second picture gave him hope. So Luis made a promise to himself. He said, I will not sacrifice everything for work. I will use my time wisely. I will learn, grow, and succeed. But I will also live, and that promise guided his choices every day. What about you? When you look ahead, what kind of life do you want to see? One full of regrets or one full of memories? Write in the comments. If you could jump forward to age 70 and look back, what would you want to see? Here is a truth many people forget. Regret is heavier than discipline. Discipline is hard now, but regret is harder later. Discipline means studying when you are tired, practicing when you feel lazy, protecting your focus when distractions call. Regret means looking back and wishing you had done it. Which pain do you choose? The pain of discipline now, or the pain of regret later? Emma chose discipline. Daniel chose discipline. Louise chose discipline. And their futures are different because of it. You can choose the same. Another truth is this. Time is not endless. Many people think they have unlimited time, but the reality is every day is one less day in your life. That is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you up, because when you understand that time is limited, you value it more. You stop wasting it. You start living with intention. Here is a small exercise. Take a moment and imagine if today was your last day. How would you spend it? Would you spend it scrolling on your phone? Or would you spend it connecting with loved ones? Learning something new? Building something meaningful? This exercise is not about fear. It is about clarity. It helps you see what really matters. Now think again about Emma, Daniel, and Luis. They each faced the same question. How do I want to look back at my life? Emma wanted to see travel, growth, adventure. Daniel wanted to see courage, change, freedom. Luis wanted to see balance, family, peace. And you, what do you want to see? Your answer to this question is your compass. It points you toward the life you want. It helps you use your time wisely. And every day, you can check, am I moving toward this vision or away from it? Remember, your future self is watching. Do not disappoint them. Give them a life they can be proud of. In the next part, we will bring all of these lessons together. We will create a final roadmap for using your time wisely, learning English effectively, and living with purpose. We will end with a strong call to action, because knowledge without action is nothing. Stay with me for the conclusion. It is where everything connects and where your journey truly begins. We have now traveled a long journey together. We started with Emma, Danielle, and Luis, 3 people struggling with wasted time, distraction, and lack of focus. We explored their challenges, their habits, their goals, and their reflections. And now, it is your turn to create your roadmap. This is not just about learning English. It is about learning to live intentionally, with purpose, and with growth in every day. Step 1. Control your habits. Like Emma, identify the distractions that steal your time. It could be your phone, social media, or endless videos. Create simple rules to protect your focus. For Emma, it was putting the phone in another room. For you, it could be something similar. Start small. One rule can make a huge difference over time. Step 2. Start small and stay consistent. Like Daniel, do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait until you feel motivated. Start with small, achievable steps. 10 minutes a day of English practice, 15 minutes of reading, or even 5 minutes of writing sentences. These small actions, repeated daily, build unstoppable momentum. Remember, consistency beats intensity. Step 3. Plan your week. Like Luis, a plan gives structure, clarity, and freedom. Write down your weekly tasks: listening, reading, speaking, writing. Review. Schedule your focus blocks, your rest, and your reward system. A plan is your roadmap, showing you the path to your goals. Follow it, adjust it, and stay committed. Step 4. Connect your actions to purpose. Habits and plans are tools, but purpose gives meaning. Emma wanted to travel and study abroad. Daniel wanted a new career and freedom. Luis wanted balance, health, and connection. Your purpose is your compass. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Every hour spent on your purpose is an investment in your future self. Step 5. Protect your focus, even with habits, purpose, and planning. Distractions are everywhere. Use focus rules, time boxing, and single tasking to guard your time. Create a study space, block notifications, and set boundaries with family or colleagues if needed. Focus is your shield against wasted time. Step 6. Reflect from the future. Imagine yourself in 5, 10, or 50 years. Look back at your life. What will you be proud of? What regrets do you want to avoid? Let this vision guide your choices today. Write letters to your future self. Think about your last day. How would you want to spend it? Let these reflections give clarity and motivation. Now, let us connect all these steps with practical action for English learners. Suppose you are a beginner, A1 or B1 level. Here is how your week might look. Monday. Listen to a simple podcast for 10 minutes. Repeat key sentences aloud. Tuesday. Read a short story. Write 3 new words and their meanings in a notebook. Wednesday. Practice speaking. Record yourself answering simple questions about your day. Thursday. Watch a short video in English. Try to write a summary in 1 paragraph. Friday. Review vocabulary and sentences learned this week. Saturday. Longer study session, 30 minutes of speaking and listening combined. Sunday. Reflect, rest, and set goals for the next week. This structure combines habits, purpose, and planning. Even if you only have 20 minutes a day, this approach works. Emma, Daniel, and Luis all started small and stayed consistent. Over time, their skills, confidence, and future opportunities grew exponentially. Now, let me give you one more powerful tip. Track your progress visually. Use a calendar, check marks, or a progress chart. Each check mark is a small victory. Each small victory builds motivation. Over weeks and months, you will see how far you have come. The journey becomes visible, and that visibility fuels action. Another tip: engage with a community. Share your goals, progress, and reflections in the comments. Ask questions, give feedback, or celebrate victories. Accountability multiplies success. Daniel used accountability with a friend. You can use it with this community too. Writing in the comments creates responsibility and inspiration for others. And now, The most important reminder: time is limited, but powerful. Every day is an opportunity to invest in your future. Every hour you spend intentionally builds the life you want. Every small action adds up, and every distraction you resist protects your dreams. Emma, Daniel, and Luis understood this. Their lives changed not because of luck, but because of small, purposeful, consistent actions. So, I challenge you today. Take one action immediately. Maybe it is creating your focus rule. Maybe it is writing your weekly plan. Maybe it is studying English for 10 minutes. Whatever it is, do it now, not tomorrow, not later. Now, action is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. Finally, remember the 3 questions that guide everything. What is my purpose? How will I use my time today to move toward it? How can I protect my focus from distraction? Answer these questions every day. They will become your compass. They will guide your habits, your planning, and your choices. They will transform wasted time into growth, regret into pride, and dreams into reality. Emma, Daniel, and Luis are not fictional. They are real examples of what any of us can achieve. They show that it is never too late to start. That no matter how much time you wasted in the past, today is the day you can begin again, and you can take control of your habits, your focus, your purpose, and your life. So here is my call to action. Comment below one habit, one rule, or one small action you will start today. Share it with this community. Take the first step towards your future. And remember to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way, you will continue learning, growing, and protecting your time with every lesson we share. Time is precious, life is short, but with habits, purpose, planning, and focus, your future can be amazing. Start today. Protect your time, build your life, and one day, your future self will look back and smile, proud of every moment you chose wisely.